Hey everyone, Chris Hobart here, the Wealthologist, and I want to welcome you to the Wealthologist Weekly. Now, this week we are going to talk about political stuff that's gone on, but we're not going to talk politics. Instead, look, we all know that 2024 election results are in, and we witnessed a pretty monumental shift. For the first time in recent history, there's been a red wave that swept across counties and demographics, and it put Donald Trump back into the White House as our 47th president. Now, I understand not everybody's excited and other folks are really excited. We're not going to debate that today. Today, I want to break down what it means for the economy, for government policies, and I think most importantly, your bottom line. So let's dive on in. First and foremost, there's talk of a new mandate for smaller government and personal opportunity. But what does that mean? Well, here's the thing. When there's a pretty significant win, that creates a clear mandate from voters demanding, in this case, less government intrusion and more transparency. I think a lot of voters got a little bit worried about the potential for higher taxes, and when price controls got mentioned, it got people spooked. So we're seeing a call for action to empower the American dream through individual opportunity, not expansion of bureaucracy. Now, the second thing, economic spending and government reach. Why less can be more? So historically, big government often means big spending. Now, I don't have to tell you that that spending comes from your pockets and my pockets and ultimately my kids' pockets. Now, with the federal budget ballooning to 6.75 trillion over just 16 years, much of it during emergencies like the 2008 financial crisis and COVID, many believe it's time simply to reel it back in. Now, I want you to imagine if instead of expanding bureaucracies, these resources went into fostering innovation in private industry. I think that may be what we begin to see. Third thing, and this is a big goal, it's taxes or tax cuts and deregulation. And I think that's one of the biggest anticipated moves right now, which would be tax cuts. The Trump team is expected to double down on tax reforms. Think cuts on tips and overtime, as well as potentially Social Security taxation. And what about deregulation? Well, again, love him or hate him, Elon Musk's Twitter revamp has shown that sometimes lean can be better. Now, imagine applying that to government agencies. Deregulation could free up markets and reduce costs, giving American businesses a bit more breathing room to thrive. Now, number 4 to look at is what happens to the student loan plan. Now, this is a pretty hot topic. Student loans are big, and it's been a big topic for the past couple of years. The Trump team suggests universities should shoulder half the risk of these loans if students can't pay them back. This would encourage schools to guide students toward degrees that lead to real-world jobs, potentially lessening the burden of education on taxpayers. Number 5, what about immigration reform and strengthening the border? Well, immigration reform will likely be another focal point. It's been talked about by both sides for quite a while. I think now we're looking at probably a plan to better secure the border and simplify legal immigration. America's great waves of immigration were about opportunity, not dependency, and reform could include easing paths to legal status for those contributing to the workforce while making sure that newcomers don't immediately become reliant on government aid. Now, number 6, we see reshaping America's energy policy, or as Trump said and in his acceptance speech, drill baby drill. So I do think that we're probably going to see a pivot on energy policy with tech giants leaning towards nuclear, like we talked about a few weeks ago, for their reliable power. A return to domestic energy production, like more oil drilling, is probably in focus as well. So we got to imagine subsidies for renewable energy may be reevaluated as this administration seeks to support energy independence and market-based innovation. Now, number 7, the Federal Reserve and big spending checks. The Federal Reserve, Jacob and I have talked about this a lot. It's currently losing billions. It's been expanding beyond its intended mission. And pundits are calling for a return to its core mandate, which is stabilizing the dollar and in turn limiting its roles in areas like climate policy, which means reducing unnecessary Fed involvement, that might help bring economic stability back to the forefront. The eighth thing that we're going to be looking for is the debt ceiling dilemma. Now, is this another big issue? Well, yeah, the debt ceiling always seems to come up every couple of months or every couple of years. With Congress set to revisit this in 2025, we've got to expect the Trump team to push for stricter controls on government borrowing. You see, the debt ceiling has historically been one of the only checks on runaway spending, and some see this as a crucial step toward fiscal responsibility. Now, the ninth thing we're watching out for, accountability in big business, asset managers, and ESG. And this is another bold proposal that's really taking away the power of asset managers, or would be to take away the power of asset managers to vote with other people's shares. It's a move to really decentralize influence and let shareholders, you, not corporate executives, call the shots on how companies operate. Number 10, bring spending back in line with reality. I think we can all agree, let's face it, big government has slowed economic growth. The U.S. has seen only 2.1% annual growth over the past 20 years, despite technological advances. Now, many argue that this is due to the sheer weight of government spending and oversight. Now, if America can bring federal spending in line with historical averages, we may see a revitalization of private sector growth and productivity. All right, folks, that's our political talk for today. And that's a wrap on the whirlwind breakdown of what the 2024 election and Trump's return could mean for America. From tax cuts to trimming bureaucracy, there's a lot on the table that could impact our wallets, our businesses, and our daily lives. What do you think? Will these shifts deliver real change, or is it just another political talking point that won't be delivered on? I want you to drop your thoughts in the comments on our YouTube page. I know this is going to probably get a bit spicy, but as always, if you want to stay in the know, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and click the bell for weekly insights into the financial world. Thanks again for watching, and here's to a brighter financial future for us all.